An Ontario man who lost his wife and daughter in the tragedy of Ukraine Airlines Flight 752 is speaking out to Global News about the threat he faces. Hamid Esmailioun says he can't escape the Iranian regime, even in Canada. This summer, he was reportedly the target of public threats made by a man visiting Canada as a tourist. That man is a former senior minister in the Iranian government. As Negar Moshtahedi explains, that incident has raised some troubling questions about Canada's security.
You might not recognize this man in the background of a news report on Quebec tourism this past summer, but the Iranian diaspora did. His name is Sayed Hassan Qazizadeh Hashemi. He's a former Iranian senior minister reportedly vacationing in Canada. He was part of the same administration responsible for shooting down Ukraine Airlines Flight 752 in January of 2020. Dozens of Canadians were killed, including Hamid Esmailioun's wife and 9-year-old daughter.
It was outrageous for the whole community.
Esmailioun couldn't believe it and called out the Canadian government.
He was not an ordinary person. You see that he had a photo with Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization in this country.
In response to Esmailioun's calls to have him deported, the former minister reportedly fired back with a threat. He was quoted in this Iranian magazine saying, "I will retaliate against the treachery of the foreign media outlets and Hamid Esmailioun."
It made me angry, actually. That why? He's here and he threatens everybody he wants.
In late August, Canada's immigration minister tweeted that Hashemi's application for temporary residence was denied and that he was being barred for 3 years due to, quote, Iran's disregard for human rights.
It's just a slap in the face of the community here.
This BC immigration lawyer has spent a lot of time documenting what he says is the huge number of Iranian regime officials and their associates who are in Canada.
We have about 700 names right now that are either have temporary residence, permanent residence, or citizenship that are in Canada and that are somehow regime affiliates. We're still counting, so it's going to be closer to 1,000.
Esmailioun, labeled as an enemy of the Islamic Republic, is always watching his back, not able to escape the regime he thought he could leave behind, even in Canada.
The Islamic Republic's agents are everywhere in this country, everywhere.
Negar Moshtahedi, Global News.